ତ୍ରେତୟ ଯୁଗରେ ଯଜ୍ଞ କରିକି, ଦ୍ୱାପର ଯୁଗରେ ଟେମ୍ପଲ worship କରିକି, and କଳି ଯୁଗରେ କୀର୍ତ୍ତନ କରିକି।
Perfect. क्रियते Satya, Tritya, Dwapara. So in Satya Yoga, people used to get self-realization by the method of tapasya, austerity, penance. Or in Trita Yoga, by yajna process. And in Dwapara Yoga, temple worship, elaborate temple worship. And in Kali Yoga, Kalau Tad Hari Kirtanat. That's why we are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. In Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned that yes, Japanam Japadajnasmi. Yajnanam Japadajnasmi. Out of all sacrifices, sacrifice means yajna. Out of all sacrifices, the sacrifice of Harinam Sankirtan is the best of all, best among all. Okay. Now we will read further. And also we have also discussed one thing, that there are eightfold process in Dhyana Yoga. So Prabhupada has mentioned there are eightfold process. One is asana, yama, niyama. Yama means do's. Sorry, yama means don'ts. Then niyama means do's and don'ts. Yama, niyama, then asana, then pranayama, then pratyahara. These are the preliminary stages of Ashtanga Yoga. And the last three stages are dhyana, dharana, samadhi. In dhyana stage, one try to meditate on the Supreme Lord. But in dharana stage, one specifically, the practitioner of yoga system, he specifically, very clearly meditate on the one limbs of the Supreme Lord. Sometimes they meditate on the chest of the Supreme Lord, sometimes on the toenail of the Supreme Lord, or sometimes they meditate on the hands of the Supreme Lord, very specifically. Okay. And samadhi is completely absorbed. Okay. So now we are reading the next paragraph. The yoga system Okay, sorry. Here also Prabhupada. Yes. So please try to understand and note something. We have, in this paragraph we are reading, we have different stages of our life. The bodily concept of life, the mental concept of life, and the intellectual concept of life. This also we have read. Okay, still we will read completely. Still let summarize this thing. We have different stages of our life, the bodily concept of life, the mental concept of life, the intellectual concept of life, and the spiritual concept of life. Okay. Actually, we are concerned with the spiritual concept of life. Why? Because in spiritual concept of life, there is permanency, there is eternity. On other concept of life, okay, Jaya Prakash is asking the 8 types of yoga system. I will mention the last step. Okay. Those who are allured by the bodily concept are no better than cats and dogs. In Bhagavatam also, it is condemned those who thinks they are their body, they are not spiritual, so they are just like cats and dogs. So it is discouraged to think one as body. So one Prabhupada is mentioning the first teachings of Bhagavad Gita is we are not body, we are the spiritual. Prabhupada will mention this thing. So Prabhupada is mentioning we must understand that I am not this body, as Krishna wanted to impress upon Arjuna in this beginning of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. First of all, try to understand what you are. Why are you lamenting in the bodily concept of life? You have to fight. Certainly, you have to fight with your brothers, brother-in-law, nephews, and you are lamenting. But first of all, try to understand whether you are a body or not. That is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tried to make Arjuna understand that he was not his body. Okay, this is the foundational teachings. And maximum problem in our life also concentrated on this concept that we are this body, we are not spiritual. And body means it is bodily concept, it is mental concept, it is intellectual concept. Okay. Then this instruction was not for Arjuna exclusively. Bhagavad Gita is not for Arjuna only, but it's for everyone. First of all, we have to learn that I am not this body, I am spiritual. That is the very instruction. Okay. Then Prabhupada is mentioning that we are not this body, we are spiritual. Okay, next paragraph. As soon as you come to this point of being firmly convinced that you are not this body, that is called Brahma Bhuta stage of Brahman relation. So another term we are introducing, that is Brahman realization, means God realization. In simple language, it is God realization. Okay. As soon as one comes to understand this point, that we are not this body, but spirit soul, then one is Brahman realized or God realized. That is knowledge, the real knowledge. Advancement of knowledge for eating, sleeping, mating is animal knowledge. Okay, sometimes we have seen that in foreign countries, people are more sophisticated in eating, mating, sleeping, depending. Okay, but Prabhupada is mentioning, as per Bhagavad Gita, advancement of knowledge means advancement of knowledge in eating, sleeping, mating is animal knowledge. Animal knowledge. So in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna one time asked, "Oh Krishna, what is this knowledge?" Okay, so Krishna, Lord Krishna says, the knowledge means distinctively differentiating what is matter and what is spirit, what is material and what is spiritual. That is knowledge. Okay, so Prabhupada is mentioning anyone who is more concerned with eating, mating, sleeping, and depending, he is in animal knowledge. A dog also knows how to eat, how to sleep, how to mate, and how to defend. So these is four things common in human being and animal. Ahara nidra bhayamaituna. Mahabharata is a beautiful shloka comes. Ahara nidra bhayamaithunam cha सामान्यमेतत् पशुभिनराणां धर्मो इत्येषाम् अधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हीन पशुभिः समानम्. So in Bhagavad Gita, in Mahabharata, it is mentioned these four things are common both for animal and human being. That's why human being has prerogative. Prerogative means it has extra qualification. A human being has prerogative for performance of dharma, a religious principle. Okay. So E power education. Okay. E power education extends only to these points. The dog is eating according to its nature. We are also eating, but in a nice place, but with nice cooked food on nice table. So what is the difference? After the food comes to from mouth to it comes to our stomach, there is no difference. The dog gets satisfaction, we are also getting satisfaction. So both same. After sleeping, dog is sleeping on the side of the road, but we are sleeping in the Dunlop Gadi. So there is no difference. We sometimes say there is quality sleep. Dog also sleep. But fact is, it is said, you must be amas. It is said, the Swana Nidra. Swana Nidra means we have to sleep like a dog. Means we have to always sleep in the wakefulness. Means we have to always wake up. Sometimes dog we go on the street light, then just do any small sound, dog just wake up. We have to sleep like this dog. Prabhupada is mentioning by just concerning about this Yahara Nidra Bhayamachana, this is not real advancement. The principle is still eating. Similarly, you may sleep in very nice apartment in a 6-story building or in a 122-story building. Dog may lie in a street. But when he sleeps, when you sleep, there is no difference. Okay. But when you cannot know whether you are sleeping in a skyscraper or on the ground because you are dreaming something which has taken you from your bed. Okay, so Prabhupada is mentioning basically by Har Nidra Bhayamaitun, so whatever animal is performing and whatever we are performing, both quality are same. Okay, both results are same. You have forgotten that your body is lying there on the bed and you are flying in the air dreaming. Therefore, to improve the sleeping method is not advancement of civilization. This is the main principle in this paragraph. Improvement of sleeping method or improvement in the Ahar Nidra Bhayamatul, that is not advancement of civilization. Similarly, dog has no social custom for mating. Okay, whether there is a sea dog, she mates on the street. You may mate very silently in a secret place. Although now people are learning how to mate like dogs, but mating is there. So far as sex life is concerned, even dog, they follow some specific season. In that specific season, they procreate. But human being, they are so shameless. They always they always involve in this sexual affair day and night. Okay, Prabhupada is mentioning in Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maithun. Maithun means sex life. Okay, so if one does not become a devotee, so he will only do these four things: ahar, nidra, bhaya, maithun. So Prabhupada is mentioning even dogs or cats and dogs, they are little bit regulated as per the nature. But we are so much shameless that we are not regulated in sexual affair also. So Prabhupada is very condemning this thing. The dog has teeth and nails, with which he can defend himself, and you have atom bombs. A dog has teeth. If you throw in something over the dogs, then he will attack you. But in case of human being, they have some atom bombs. They will throw upon one country, everything destroyed. So principle is same. Therefore, scripture says that human life is not meet only for these few principles of life. See the teachings we have to remember. Scripture says that human life is not only for these four principles of life, ahara, nidra, bhayamatul, that is bodily demands. There is another thing, say human beings should be inquisitive. Inquisitive means jigyasu, to learn what is absolute truth. Absolute truth means which is eternal in nature. That education is lagging. One time Prabhupada visited Harvard University, and Prabhupada is searching where is that department where science of soul is teaching. So Prabhupada finds no department there. Prabhupada is condemning what is the need of this big university if they are not teaching the science of soul. So in this paragraph, we have learned this last line. We have learned this scripture says human life is not meant only for these four principles of life, bodily demand. That is another thing. That is, he must be inquisitive to learn what is the absolute truth. Just note this thing only. The next two paragraph we'll read and complete this first chapter. Okay, this 8:45. Okay. According to Vedic civilization, a Brahmana is a learned man or one who knows the spirit. In India, Brahmanas are dressed as learned man. Panditji. In India, we said Panditji. Panditji means Brahmana. But in fact, they cannot be Brahmana by birth. Prabhupada is strictly mentioning Brahmanas should not be recognized as from birth. They are expected to know what is spirit and matter. So Brahmana Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita also Lord is explaining the two terms, who is Brahmana and who is Kripana. Brahmana means after getting this human form of life, if one is not using this human form of life for the service of Krishna, that is Kripana. The Brahmana means he must know who is Krishna, who is God, or what is the spirit, and how to distinct this matter from spirit, he must know. Prabhupada is condemning Brahmanas should not be by. So Brahmana means we can know this thing. He must be aware of Supreme Spirit. Okay. Last paragraph. By birth, everyone is Sudra. Kalau Shudra Sambhava. Fourth class man. But he may not be, he may be reformed by purificatory process. There is 10 purification process. One is marriage. Marriage is a purification process. Then after marriage, there is Garbhadan Sanskar. Garbhadan Sanskar, first marriage, Vivah Sanskar, then Garbhadan Sanskar, then Jatakrama Sanskar. So many Sanskar, 10 Sanskars are there. The Prabhupada is mentioning by birth we are all Sudra, and by purification process, by Sanskara, we can become Dvija. So there are 10 kinds of purification. One undergoes all this process and at last come to the spiritual master. Okay. So it is mentioned, Kalu Sudra Sambhava or Janmana Jayatu Sudro. Sanskarat Bhaved Dvija. Veda Patet Bhaved Vipra Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. So Sanskar Janmana Jayate Sudra. By birth one is Sudra, means fourth class man. Then Sanskarat Bhaved Dvija. By Sanskara, purificatory process, one become little bit advanced. Dvija means Dvija, second birth. So one gets spiritual birth. First birth is material birth, Dvija means spiritual birth. Then what he will do? Veda Patet Bhavet Vipra. Veda Patet, by studying scripture, one become Vipra. Vipra means advanced than Dvija. And then Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. One who knows the supreme absolute truth as Krishna, then he is Brahmana. So Prabhupada is mentioning at last he comes to spiritual master who gives him sacred thread as recognition of his second birth. In case of Dvija, the person, the child goes to the spiritual master who gave sacred thread. Poita. Poita then he becomes Dvija. One birth is by your father and mother, and other birth is by spiritual master. So Diksha means birth by spiritual master. So that is called second birth. At that time, candidate means the person is given a chance to study and understand what is Veda. By studying all the Vedas very nicely, he actually realizes what is spirit and what is relationship with God, and he then become Brahmana. Okay. So first Shudra, then Tuja, then Vipra, then Brahmana. Above that, the situation of impersonal Brahman understanding, he comes to the platform of understanding Lord Vishnu, the supreme personality of Godhead, then he becomes Vaishnava. That is the perfectional process. So from Sudra, by Janmana Jayate Sudra, from birth he become Sudra, then by purification process he become Dvija, then by studying scripture he become Vipra, then by realizing the supreme absolute truth he become Brahmana, then by realizing the personality of supreme absolute truth he become Vaishnava. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, then Vaishnava is there. So Vaishnava is topmost. For in this purification, Prabhupada mentioned is a perfectional process. Out of 4 process, Vaishnava is the top. Okay. So we'll just let me summarize in just 1 minute. In first paragraph, we have read that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and this is the teachings, first teachings of Bhagavad Gita. And second paragraph, Prabhupada mentioning that anyone who is concerned more that eating, sleeping, mating, defending, then he is in animal consciousness or bodily consciousness. And fact is, by performance of this eating, then sleeping, then depending on sex life, both animal and human being, they both get same results. Okay, but sometimes out of bodily consciousness, human being thinks that they are advanced. Prabhupada is mentioning car is going by 4 wheels. We are also going by 4 wheels. Eating, meeting, sleeping, depending. So there is no advancement. Then in and human life especially meant for human life is especially meant for realizing the supreme absolute truth. In next paragraph, Prabhupada mentioning one who is a Brahmana and one who knows who is the supreme spirit. In last paragraph, Prabhupada mentioning by birth one becomes Sudra, then by purification process, 10 purification, Dasa Vidha Sanskar it is mentioned. Sometimes we will discuss by purification process, one get the sacred thread by spiritual master, then he is called Dvija, and one then try to understand the Vedic literature under the guidance of a spiritual master, one become Vipra, and by realizing the impersonal nature of the Supreme Lord, one become Brahmana, and by understanding the personal nature of the Supreme Lord, he become Vaishnava. Hare Krishna. And thus end first chapter of this book, Topmost Yoga System, in the perfection of yoga. Next time we'll read Yoga and the Master of Yoga. So anyone, now Jay Prakash Prabhu is saying what are the eightfold process in yoga system. Just answering this question, Prabhupada is mentioning in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, there are 8 process in Dhyana Yoga. Okay, what are these principles or process? One is Yama. Yama means don'ts. Then Niyama means do's. Then Asana, sitting posture. ଆମେ ଆସନ ପକେଇ ବସନ୍ତି ନା କିଛି କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଆସନ then ପ୍ରାଣାୟାମ ବ୍ରିଦିଂ ଏକ୍ସରସାଇଜ ଅନୁଲୋମ ବିଲୋମ ଯାହା ବି ଅଛି ତାଙ୍କର then pratyahara means what is unfavorable one must reject all this unfavorable for this dhyana yoga. In asana, so yama niyama asana pranayama pratyahara, this is the primary stages. Okay, and the higher stages, advanced stages is called dhyana dharana samadhi. Dhyana means meditation on the Supreme Lord. Okay. Then dharana means specific meditation on the Supreme Lord. Specific means limbs of the Supreme Lord. How Lord looks like. Sometimes the devotee meditate on the toenail of the Supreme Lord. Sometimes the beautiful eyebrows of the Supreme Lord. Sometimes devotee also meditate on the lips, beautiful lips of the Supreme Lord. So specific meditation on the specific limbs of the Supreme Lord, it is called dharana. And when that practitioner become completely absorbed, he is in trance. Trance means samadhi. So these are the 8-fold system of dhyana yoga. Okay, sometimes you must heard the in current so many spiritual organizations, they perform kriya yoga, or sometimes they perform hatha yoga. So all these types of yoga, they are using this 8-fold process of dhyana yoga. But Arjuna at that time, 5,000 years ago, he has completely denied that, oh Krishna, I am unable to concentrate mind. When the situation was so much favorable, Srila Arjuna saying, I am not able to concentrate my mind. Even if I can control wind, I cannot control mind. So Prabhupada is mentioning Lord Krishna also indicating Bhakti Yoga is the supreme, and Bhakti Yoga, performance of Bhakti Yoga, Lord will be placed. Hare Krishna. So anyone has any doubt regarding today's discussion? We have read only 3 paragraphs. Or anyone need any explanation? I will stop here. मौसमी माता जी तुम्हारा बुझिए ना।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी बुझिला।
उमेश प्रभु।
आज्ञा प्रभु जी बुझिए।
So Umesh Prabhu, I want to give a small service to you because you have joined this session. So whenever you will join, you will just summarize all the points we have discussed in English only, and you will send me so that I can send to all different groups. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna will stay here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरे हरि बोल।